Right, so picture this. I'm sat after watching yesterday's game, and I'm sat there and I've got all sorts of things going on. I've got my computer on, I've got me two televisions on, and I'm sat there and I'm looking at Twitter and thinking, what excuses can the players come up with this time, or, what's going to happen. And then I see that Conte has basically either thrown himself under the bus or thrown every single player and the board under the bus. Yes, very good. Yes, hello and welcome to the first major video for quite a while, as you would have seen, hopefully in my update video that is currently processing on YouTube. I am now back and hopefully more videos will be regular, which is, I'm really looking forward to. So last night was a bit of a sham football-wise. We lost 1-0 to Burnley, who I predicted in my prediction video that I was looking at earlier tonight, that they would go down and Sean Dyche will be gone by Christmas. Got that wrong on both accounts, I think. I think Burnley have done more than enough to stay up, even though they are technically still in the relegation zone, the way they played yesterday was good. I didn't think we played terribly badly, but it was more like going through the motions, and Tottenham seemed to do that a lot. And then I'm sat there, as I said in the little intro, that scrolling through Twitter, I see, I think it's Sam Matterface was the first guy I saw, and he's like, Antonio Conte's going to leave Tottenham, and I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. Don't talk where. I mean, it is Sam Matterface after all, so I wasn't particularly concerned. And then I've got the Sky Sports News on in the background, because I'm scrolling on Twitter on the main TV, and I've got the TV behind me, which is over there. And it says Antonio Conte threatens to leave Spurs, and I'm like, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So they scramble the interview, and I'm like, oh my god. He's basically said he's not good enough, or the players are not good enough, or the board's not good enough. And the whole of Twitter was going mad, and I'm thinking, I want to put something up, or no, and I watched it again, and I'm thinking, he's going. Sent a message to my dad saying, don't be surprised if you hear rumours of Conte walking in the morning, because it honestly did sound like he was going to go, and it's like, he's lost to Burnley, and he's like, no, nobody loses to Burnley. He's just completely just gone. And I'm like, I'm sat there thinking for most of the night, and I'm thinking, would he go, or is he just saying that to sort of buck the players' ideas up, And then Tottenham put out a few training tweets this afternoon, and they all look miserable as anything. Everyone looks so sad. Normally people on Twitter are moaning, oh, this player looks so happy, they've lost 3 in a row, and they look so happy, and now they're looking miserable. So whether, they've read the room for once, and they're thinking, oh no, we want the fans on side, because, Conte actually apologised to us, saying, I feel sorry for you. I've supported Tottenham for, well, 30, 32 years. We'd seal those off, but we won't go into that. And it's just nothing but sheer pain. It really is. It's everything he says is correct. We've got players that have been here for 7, 8, 9 years. I think 9 of the Pochettino squad are still at the club, and it's like you wouldn't get that at any other club. You'd probably get that at sort of the lower end of the Premier League. Ironically, probably your Burnleys, but even they've started investing in new players, and it's like they've bought Maxwell Cornet from Lyon, and it's he's hit the ground running. I know he was injured last night, but that's still they're still making more moves than we are. I mean, yes, we bought 2 new players in, and yes, they're okay. They're going to take some time. Got 4 players out. Might not necessarily be the right players. I think there was a few that deserved to go before some of them. But I think the whole, situation at Spurs has basically been a shambles ever since we left the old place. Ever since I got my season ticket, basically. It's been an absolute shambles at times, I remember when we went to Wembley and everyone was talking about the Wembley curse that we had because we just couldn't win. And then, Pochettino was saying, we need new furniture if we're going into this new place. And it's like, Mourinho's also said it. Nuno couldn't really say anything in his time. But it's been so disheartening to see the club basically lose its soul because it's more interested in buying property from the local area. We're more concerned about buying the golf club near the training ground, and it's like we're trying to go for Champions League, and that gives you what, 100 million maybe. I don't know. No, well, yeah, it probably does give you 100 million for finishing top 4 and getting into the Champions League and the group stages and such like. Go out and spend 80 million on Lautaro Martinez or something like that, and guarantee yourself a striker that can single-handedly, take the weight off Kane and score as many goals as probably Kane does. Because if we had 3 Harry Kanes in our side, 1 in the defence, 1 in the midfield, and 1 up front, guarantee we'd probably end top 2, because the balls that Harry puts through, I mean, he is back. He looks much more switched on. He looks like he's enjoying himself, which is great. But the problem with Spurs is those players that are not in the first team, and it's just not really good depth. I mean, Dyer's been our outstanding player of the season. No one wants to admit that, but I will because I'm an Eric Dyer fan. But I got slated last year for saying, Eric Dyer's a good player. He just needs to recover from his appendicitis and all this and that. And if he doesn't get in the England squad, then Southgate again should be sacked for about the 9th time I've said that this year. I mean, yeah, it's just and that's a subject for another video. But yeah, Conte's comments last night caused complete controversy, and I'm just like, you had some fans blaming him, and I'm like, but he's only telling the truth. If you go to work and your boss says, right, you're gonna have to, I don't know, cook with if you're a chef and you have to cook with a a small frying pan. You know, once you get to the elite level of, I don't know, cooking, some 32-ounce steaks, you're gonna run into trouble. You're gonna not be able to do things, and people are gonna say, well, you were doing that all right 3 years ago, but now you're not doing it so well. And it's I'm a bit weird to say this because this is probably the first time I've actually said it out loud, but when I used to see all the Enoch Out Brigade on Twitter a couple of years back, I was like, yeah, but you've got the new stadium, blah, blah, blah. The same old things that they come out with, and new stadium, training ground. We're just waiting for the right time to, push on. And then after the pandemic and stuff, you just think, right, now this is the time to hit the ground running. And you sit there and you think, oh, we're linked with Joe Barla. Oh, we're linked with Luis Diaz in the January transfer window. And you think, oh, this is a start. And then, that all falls through, and we sign, 2 players from Italy, which will probably be decent in a couple of years' time. But if you're going for Champions League football now, you need players that will get us there now. It's to the point of, if I want to get, to somewhere in 10 minutes, I don't take the bus, in 15 minutes' time. I take the bus now and I get there. So I suppose I've really sort of almost turned completely, get rid of the chairman and the board and all that stuff. And, from where I was sort of 2 years ago, you think, oh, I've done a complete turn. And it's like, why are we worrying about golf courses? Why are we worrying about hotels? Why are we worrying about, regeneration of the area? But no one's going to come to Tottenham, to see the nice stadium if you've got someone that, is Burnley level playing at right back. I mean, there's so many players that you could pick out of clubs that are not even top 6 that are so much better than we've got. You could pick up, Max Gilman from Wolves. You could pick James Ward-Prowse from Southampton. You could even pick, Todd Cantwell was on loan at Bournemouth. It's just the whole scouting that we're doing at the moment is just so wrong. We're going for Italians and Spanish. And then when we do sign someone, we send him back on loan, not to somewhere in a league where he could learn, he could go to Watford. No, we send him back to his comfort zone. The whole Brian Gill thing, that annoys me because there's a player in there. But they send him to a Spanish club because it's comfortable. And it's all about money, and you've got these events and stuff. And I love the club. I love football. It's basically what I live for. Football is more important to me than anything. It's just, and it's so annoying when you've seen people for years say, oh yeah, but we're not doing this right, we're not a proper club, we do this, and you look back at some of your conversations on Twitter and you think, why was I sucked into the whole, oh yeah, the stadium will improve us, when it's the players that improve us. It's just the bank balance that improves for the club. And it's just, it was a bit of a bomb that was thrown on us by Conte last night, and it really did divide the fan base. But I'm really not looking forward to Leeds on Saturday. They lost 6-0 to Liverpool, and I guarantee you they'll probably beat us. I'll do a video if they don't. But yeah, I really can't see us doing anything this season unless we get an FA Cup. It'll be okay. A trophy, so most people will be delighted with that. So, yeah, it just really caused a bit of a caracas on the old social media, which I know is not a true indictment of the way people think, but it's the way it is, and it's so annoying because there is a club here. So Elon Musk, if you want to take over, please do. And it's not the fact of we want our owners to go out and spend 135 million on Coutinho, or just get some decent players who will put in 7 out of 10 every week. Most weeks 7 out of 10, and then they have the odd sparkling performance where they get 10 out of 10. Sonny looks short of confidence. Kane looks back. Decky looks good. But everybody seems to be sleeping on the fact we've been rubbish since Oliver Skip done his groining. And that, in a way, even though I'm a massive fan of Skip, who you can't... Can you see up there? Where are we? He's up by my head. There. There's actually 2 pictures of him. Yeah, so I'm a big Skip fan, but it really is sad that a young kid from our academy is probably our first and best midfielder. Bentancur seems great. Unfortunately, he looks like he's injured for 3 weeks, so that isn't good. But I think we got maced with the old Danish midfielder. I think Southampton got the better end of the deal with that one, with Kyle Walker-Peters. And you know what? Kyle Walker-Peters would probably still be our best right back, even though he's a bit lightweight. But yeah, it's just... I'm glad that Conte is doing something, but maybe not doing it in that way that he did it. But he might be doing it for effect, so let's hope we can improve, and hopefully Saturday afternoon will be a better afternoon. And in the words of one of the YouTubers I watch, keep it Tottenham. Thank you for subscribing and thank you for watching. Please click the like and leave me comments if you have anything you want to discuss.